Let me make sure that everything's working. One sec. Hello, test, 1, 2, test, testing in game with the song on. Hello, test, 1, 2, test, testing in game with the song on. Alright, cool, it worked. Hello. Okay. Alright, let's go over this. Nice patience from John, not to commit until he knows he has a good challenge. This is such a great play. I like the way that you guys are. This is a great example of playing the way you face and finding the simplest option, which is going to be a key thing that I'm going to focus on throughout this game. It's going to be, are we making the easiest decision based off our position, and are we making the easiest play that will give us the best opportunity to score? So this is just a great example, playing the way you face, finding each other, and almost getting that goal. That's a really nice job. So right here, what I want John to realize is, even though Ryzen misread this a little bit, or Ryan, whatever, Ryzen, you have to give him time and space to work. Your best bet is just to give him that time and space and to hold the space that you already have. But just by getting into his face, like, first of all, you're the furthest one from the ball. Orange team is going to be the closest, along with Ryzen. And Ryzen can make a play on it still. So you just have to give him that time and space to at least give him the opportunity to do so. You can still hold your space back here, and then you can go to this ball and react to this and go for that shot. So just by holding that space a little bit longer, exactly where you were, if you would have held it right here. Now we wait to see what happens. He gets it clear, and now you got the shot. This is perfect example of third man rotation. So Corrosive is holding worst case scenario, which is great. The third man should always be able to go forward, and whenever the third man goes up for an offensive challenge, it should be guaranteed almost. So this is perfect. He holds the space, waits to see what happens. He has a straight line to the net. He doesn't have to come out from the outside or anything. It's just a straight line between him, the ball, and the net, and he goes for a nice shot. He had more time to go for the bounce shot if he needed to. And this is going to be the second thing that I want to focus on, is time recognition, and just whenever we do have time, are we making the most out of it? You do a good shot, I think it could have been better. You had more time to do so, but the idea is perfect. Third man coming up, waiting for his opportunity. When his opportunity does come, is clear and open and obvious, and that's great. This is really good on, who is this, Ryzen. So even though, this is what I mean by giving your teammates time and space to work, you're the closest one to the ball, so you might as well make a play on it. Now we do have a slight issue with someone not rotating behind him already. So in this situation, instead of going for boost all the way on the side, John, I would actually grab the boost pads in the center and try and stay behind here, behind my teammate, even if I have 20 boosts. Like, as long as I have this position, it's going to be really good for us. So let's not be so quick to rotate all the way back to our side when we still have an offensive pressure on their half of the field. Let's just try and stay in the play and always have someone. That way we can buy Corrosive time to rotate back, grab boost, and get behind you. but we don't need both of us going all the way back. But Ryzen, really good job staying in the play, making the most out of it, trying to get in the way. That's great. Good patience from John, good read on the play, and good clear. Really good patience from Corrosive. He's not coming out too early. And I like the fact, I always like protecting the center. Like right now, I don't care about the ball being in the corner. I'm going to let Ryzen deal with it, and I'm just going to wait right here, see what happens. Once he gets to clear, we can slowly start to push up. But as he's pushing up, notice how he's going to create a really even line between him, the ball, and the goal. So Corrosive is doing a really good job about just when he's pushing up efficiently so that when the ball comes to him or when the next opportunity, he's giving him space so that he can react. And he's creating a nice angle so that he has a clean angle towards the net. So this is just a little bit of communication error. So like right here, this is fine. Ryzen, you're doing perfectly fine. But right here, Ryzen should recognize, okay, Orange just hit it, right? Where's the person? So this is all good. Good. We should take a snapshot right here, be like, okay, we see what's going on. We have one guy rotating back. And on this play, we know that that guy's pretty far away and that this guy's on the wall. And it's going to be a while, and we know that we have a teammate behind us. So it's just, this is when we want to recognize the same thing. Play the way you face and also recognize the simplest option. So even though, yeah, you do have a touch on the ball, but we have time. We don't need to go for it immediately. We can let Corrosive, who has like this really nice setup, go for it instead and go for that shot or just put more pressure directly. So it's just looking for the simplest option, being aware of where our teammates are and who has the best angle. That's a okay challenge, that's fine. Should be okay. This is fine, but you know, Corrosive, we want to buy our teammates time. This isn't a threatening ball, but you do a good job of selling it down and controlling it the best you can. So good reaction and good job getting it to a pretty safe spot for us. Good. So right here, Ryzen, all you got to do is just stay behind the line, let your teammates work ahead of you, and just be there just in case he misses it, then you can go for it. Just try and get behind the line and just settle down and get your bearings before you push up. Good follow. And same thing, we're going for this boost when we're pushing up, so let's talk about this. Good job on Corrosive, first one on the ball. John, you're doing a good job of pressuring behind or supporting him with the proper spacing from a nice angle. But I wouldn't rush this challenge because look at, if we really think about it, they're not in a good position to clear the ball, and it's not a dangerous ball just yet. So you actually create more pressure by letting Corrosive, again, hold this space and follow it up from this position. Because notice how the biggest thing is that the Orange team did not have a good play on this, and we need to recognize that. So it's recognizing that he's backwards, he's on the wall, this guy's still going backwards, he's coming off the ceiling, and they're not in any rush to go for it. No one's going for it, so you know, we could either let this come down and Corrosive can follow it, and you can hold that space with boost and hold that boost and make use of it, because all we really do is give them the ball, and we want to have it's a wasted opportunity, and this is what I want to focus on whenever we talk about making the most of every opportunity. It's basically recognizing that we don't need to go for this immediately. We have time. If we really want to, the most efficient thing, Corrosive could land and follow it up. Even if he has zero boost, like he's not going to be really challenged, and he could get a shot himself because they're out of position. So it's and then John could just wait back here, waiting to see what happens and just waiting to contain the play. This is great, and this is a great recognition, like, you know what, he's not doing anything with the ball, he's just giving the ball away, we can let him hit the wall, and we can follow it up from there, that's fine. So, if we're going to push out like this, then Corrosive should come all the way back here for worst case scenario, because just in case this Orange guy gets a nice hit that goes anywhere towards the net where Ryan might not be able to get it, I always want a third man to be behind the line when we're in our half and we haven't made a good clear yet, just so that we have that position to use. And you eventually get back here, which is nice. So good recognition. Just make sure that we always have that whenever we're in these situations. It's a good attempt. We have so much time. Let's take a look at it again. So you just have a lot more time than you think, and let me try and show you where you can recognize that. So you have a clear view of everyone. Orange team is going back towards their net, they're backwards, they're not going to be able to react to this churn at all because they're so backwards. And that just tells you that you have way more time, you don't have to pre-jump it, you can wait for it to bounce, you can line it up properly and get the pass that you want. It's a bit of a waste opportunity because they were in a really bad position, so just recognize that they're rotating back, they're not going to be able to turn as quickly, you'll be able to get to the ball very cleanly. Take that time, let it hit the ground, and just make the hit that you want right there because, they're giving you that much time. Good demo. This is great. As he's rotating back, he's looking for opportunities. He's rotating back and he's making a play on the ball. This is great. This is what I want to see. Whenever we're rotating back, if we can, always try and interfere. This is what I mean by giving your teammates time and space to work with. That's fine. Good cover by John. This is really nice. I like the fact that you recognize that it's a hard ball to clear, and if you were to clear it, you would have accidentally just passed it. So you force them to play around and force them to make the good play. Now the only thing is, since we have someone in the net already, we don't want this guy in the net to push up outside of this arc because it's going to be wasted. Because there's going to be your teammates who are outside the arc already that are going to be closer to the ball that can turn onto it. It's a wasted space and time for this guy to push up and this guy to come back. You guys are both covering the double distance that you have to. You can stay here and this guy can just cover this distance from here. So we just need to communicate oh, I'm already back in goal, and Corrosive, you have 78 boost, more than enough to make a play on the ball. So all you have to do is follow this up on the ground, boost towards it, and just get in the way of it. You can either get a nice block if you're early enough and you read it correctly, then we can get a shot from this and pretty much a goal. But this is what I mean, because John has to come all the way out. And when he does come out, he's doing a good job of blocking angles, but we don't relieve pressure. And we could have relieved pressure if Corrosive just realized John is in the back, Corrosive can turn on it and just make a play on it. So this is a bit careless, and this is, I think, recognition of where our teammates are. So Corrosive, from your point of view, you were doing really good in the beginning about being the third man, but right here you have Ryzen all the way up top grabbing mid boost. John got pulled out of the goal to block the shot. This ball is all the way in the corner. It's not that big a threat. Even that orange guy who's challenging it from below, if he hits it, it's not going to be that big a deal. He's going to hit it, it's going to bounce off this wall and go to where we want it anyways. And we need to buy our teammates time to rotate behind us, because if you hit it and they have that spacing, well, now we just gave it right to them, and now the pressure's still on us. And we're still rotating back. We still don't have anyone completely ready for this, because now Ryzen is in an awkward position where he's the last one to the ball, so he can't challenge it, and he does a good job about trying to stay in the play. But basically, this whole situation can be avoided from that recognition of not having to clear this ball, controlling it into the corner like you did before, and just buying our teammates time before we cleared it out. So Ryzen, you did a good job of recognizing, you know what, it's going to be pointless to go for this ball because, Extended had all the time in the world. So instead of turning outside, always turn inside, cover that center, just so that you can help out your team more, so that when John goes out, you're already in the back of the net. Because now that this time, Ryzen, there's no one in the back, and John did it, Corrosive did it, and we just need Ryzen to do this a little bit earlier, recognizing, you know what, third man, we don't have the ball out, we should get behind the line, so that when this shot comes, it's a really easy save. If you're just right here behind the line immediately, then this shot doesn't happen and we don't get scored on. So on this kickoff, what happens is we have no one covering the center. So Notice how no one's in. I always like one person inside this little diamond of sorts between the boosts. That way we can just cover the majority of options. So I thought that because the ball went left, I would have rather had corrosive just grab this boost and just stay in the circle with 50 boost and just chill back here. That way, because okay, there's a lot of things that went wrong. So first is recognizing from Ryzen that this kickoff is lost because it's going to their side, and we can tell by the marker on the ground, and it's past the halfway line. So we know that it's kind of pointless for us to go for it. So right here, Ryzen, if I was you, I would actually turn away from it towards the center, and now you can reapproach it and possibly hit it for your teammate. Corrosive, if we would have held the center earlier and stayed right here, now the ball comes to us, it's a bounce hit, it's an open net. There's a possibility that we can pass it to Ryzen, and he can turn on it, and we can get a goal from here. So it's one of those two. Recognizing, okay, where's that marker on the ground? Is it on our side? Is it on their side? That's a clear indicator of when we should go for it and push up for it. And then if the ball's on the left side, your two teammates are there, it's just like, well, let's get back to the center so that we can react to this play. Because no one's there, we get an unlucky bounce, he gets a good reaction, good shot, and we get punished for those two mistakes earlier. Good patience, this is fine. Like, even if he gets a shot from that distance, it would be pretty easy to save from that. Good job pushing up. Nice solo play. Nice. Nice shot. Really good job. And this is what I want to see consistently. You guys are doing it for the majority of the game, but we should do it for 100% of the game, where we're making this angle when we challenge it. We're not challenging it directly. We're coming outside and going as straight as possible to the ball. And that's always going to be better than approaching it and just hitting it back into the wall. So that's really nice. This is kind of a pointless challenge, just because we put the pressure on, right? It's not the best of passes, and they're coming at it from a really awkward angle. So even if you let him hit it and it hits off the wall and back here, then Ryzen is going to get it and he's going to get a free hit. It's not the worst challenge, but it's just recognizing, like, okay, do we really need to go for it, or can we just wait for the hit and make a play off their mistake, basically. That guy almost ungoaled. And that's okay. Like, even though, like, we misread this, just by being in a really nice position, John, we're forcing Orange to hit it around you and or miss it. And now Ryzen's going to have an easier time getting the challenge. So it works out. This is really good spacing. So this is what I want to see more often, where we have someone on the ball, the second man is covering with enough space so that once John is completely out of the play, the first player, now the second player knows it's my turn to go, it's clear and obvious, and we have the third man rotating back just in case Ryzen was to fail, then he can cover it from a nice area. Perfect, perfect, perfect. What I really like about Corrosive right here is that he's holding that space, letting Ryzen work with that space ahead of him, and he's there just in case anything else happens, getting a really nice read on the play. Really good. I love the fact that we're recognizing that we have time right here, John, and again, we're rounding out that approach and making it as easy as possible, so this is really nice too. Really good job, Corrosive, holding that space, being in that really nice position for your team. A little bit scary. This could be avoided just by Ryzen double jumping under the ball and going for just like, basically, if I was you, my main concern would just to make sure that they don't hit it the way they want. So just by double jumping and popping it up in the air, it's going to buy your teammate time. John can rotate back, and Corrosive might be able to turn on it and go for it. So Just always try and make a play whenever you're rotating back, like I talked about earlier, because you could still mess with it. And if this guy would have got if this guy would have got a good shot, like it could have been avoided. So luckily he misses it. Really good patience, and this is like the whole point. We care about the center, and we're covering the center really well. John covers the close option. He goes high. This guy gets a bad shot. We're not committing to it because we know it's a bad shot. And now we have time and space to go for this ball. Really great job. You control touch, easy clear. That's perfect. Now I think he has another mistake. Corrosive. We could just hold that space. You were doing a good job earlier. We just have to do a little bit better by saying, you know what, this is not a good ball to go for. Ryzen's already lost it. Orange is already up. I should just hold this space so that when that ball gets hit, you can challenge this ball and easily win it. But he still forced it to hit outside. That's fine. Good follow-up by John. Good job, Corrosive, by shooting out to the middle, rotating back, getting out of that space, letting John push up behind you. And good job, Ryzen, pushing up as soon as John hits it. This is nice. This is good spacing. Yeah, this is perfect. So this is the difference. So that in the beginning of the game, the same play happened where the ball got popped up and we could have had someone follow it up because we had time. This is an example of we don't have time to go for it because that guy can still go for it. And you jump up at the right time, you get the nice challenge. But notice how we make that straight line, proper spacing, we're reacting to the play, and we can make a straight angle right towards the ball in the net. So this is nice. We should just want to do this as much as we can. Ooh, yeah, I think we had third man issues, so it was Corrosive. So everyone's rotating really well. Corrosive, if I was you, I would not rotate all the way out. I would instead grab these two boost pads and turn around. If these are here, I would go down the middle just to check and then push up from here. But just by pulling yourself all the way out of play, now Ryzen doesn't have that third man for security because you're all the way pushed back to the opposite corner. So if I was you, I would try and grab this, check out ball cam, grab this boost pad, turn it back on, and be rotating back out. That way, once Ryzen's here, I can grab this boost pad, that ball's there, I could wait, that ball's hit, now I'm up here, and now I get the early challenge, and I could get a really easy pass. If you're there early enough, you can get a shot. Because again, if you have 30, 40 boost, that's going to be more than enough to make a play on the ball if you're already there. But because you took a long path, you were too late. Because instead of being there, we should have been here when that ball was played. It's just like that difference. But you do a really good job of adjusting and containing them in their half and getting the second best play. So good job on recovering and keeping the ball in their half anyways. So John, we're a little bit too eager to go up. I would just slowly go up the center because that's where the ball is most likely going to be. So I would just hold it right here, just wait to see what happens. That way if that ball gets hit, now you can double jump, make an easy hit to the corner for Ryzen to play or for basically just to relieve that pressure. So don't be so eager to push up and get out of that center position. Try to hold it a little bit longer. I like to draw a triangle. So the triangle is between the ball, the front post, the ball, the back post. If you can hold yourself in that triangle as you push up, it's going to be the most efficient because that's the most dangerous ball that's going to be when it comes straight to the net. So notice how as you're pushing up, when he hits this ball, you're outside the triangle, so you're kind of out, you're giving yourself a disadvantage. If you hold yourself inside that triangle and you hold that space where you were, well now that ball's hit and now you can react to it and get the block that we need. Good job, Corrosive, about being patient, controlling it, getting a nice possession. Nice try. Good space from Ryzen. You had a lot of time to make this hit. So I think it's the right play to go for like a pass to Corrosive. So nice job. You had a little more time if you wanted it. It's a dangerous challenge, but it's the right challenge based off the read. John, you had a really early read on it. You had a really nice position on it, and you tilted your car up and blocked it with your tires, which is really smart. So it's fine to do this as long as you have that hard read. So as soon as it bounced up, you had the hard read, you had momentum, and you're able to block all the opportunity that he had. So good play. You can do that as long as you're consistent like that. That's fine. So right here, corrosive, we should be pushing out a little bit further out. So instead of being so parallel, we should be finding this line so that we can be back here a little bit earlier. Because again, you're the third man. We're up by 1. There's a minute left. We still, Ryzen needs to rotate back. We just need to buy a little bit more time so that when that ball is played, instead of you getting caught back here, we can be back here challenging it going forward already. Good job making a play. You know, awkward situation, but you're able to recognize that, okay, you got the ball, good block, good job, John, by turning onto it and putting pressure on them with a long shot, and it worked out. And this is what I was talking about, like, good job to recognize it's not a dangerous ball, and we can react to that ball on the ground, because again, he's just going to give it to us, and we can get an easy clear. A little iffy up top, but it ends up working out, and the only reason why this play worked is because John held that space. Because he has all this space, he can adjust, and if this ball is a little bit short, he can round out and still get the shot that we need and get the goal. If he was any closer, he wouldn't have been able to get that nice of a shot, so it's always important for that third man to hold that space to be able to react to the situation. It's kind of a pointless challenge, and this is knowing when to just cut our losses. So right here, John, you're in a perfect position to not go for it because you see that orange team has already jumped for it. So we can just hold that position, hold it here, and then we can jump here if we want, and just knock it to the side and let Ryan get the ball after we hit it. So and knowing when not to go for the ball whenever it's a lost cause because you're simply the furthest one away, you can wait for him to hit it, get this challenge to the side. Now this guy's out of the play. Now Ryan has all day to make a play. Really risky. Um, we don't need to go for it immediately. You could let this come down, Ryzen can turn on it, and we can get a really easy clear because no one's challenging it. So just be really careful about hitting it across the goal if we don't have to. We don't need to be riding his ass. Ryzen, I would just stay in the net and let him handle it because we have time. John could dribble this to the side, grab boost, do it, and if he can't get a clear and get up the side early enough, then he can just go for 50-50 and buy us time to rotate back. But all you have to do is just let him have it, wait for that hit. Now that ball's there, and now we can push up from this angle and we can get this block. Nice cover. This is nice spacing. I always like to find this triangle, so this is really nice. A little bit over eager. Again, we're up by 1. There's 16 seconds left. John, if I was you, I would actually hold my space all the way back here and just wait to see what happens. That way, if he hits it, well, now I have that free ball and we can hit it up. Corrosive does a good job of adjusting to John pushing up, and he hits the cover that we need. Nice. And GG. So the main things I wrote was focusing on good clears to buy our teammates time. So if you're the third man, let's not just give a clear that's going to go right back to them, especially if we're clearing it from a ball that's not dangerous. So like talking about when Corrosive was on that wall, it was coming to the outside. It's not a dangerous ball. We don't need to immediately clear it. If they're going to hit off the wall, let them, and just buy our teammates time and come up earlier. Give teammates space to work. So in the beginning of the game and a few times when we were pushing up from defense, when someone's in an awkward position, but they're still the closest to the ball. Let's hold that space back here, let them deal with it, and react to the very next play. So let's keep on giving our teammates that respect, time, and space to work with. The third man, let's make sure that we always have someone be behind the line. John and Corrosive did it, and we just need the other player, which is Ryzen, to get back behind the line too, because that goal could have been avoided. And then on kickoff, let's always have someone hold the center. You guys have the right idea, and the last thing that puts this all together is recognizing when we have time. So it's 5 main things: focusing on good clears to buy our teammates time if we need that, and just recognizing like, okay, I don't need to clear it immediately. My teammates are pushed up. I need to buy them time so that one of them can at least rotate back. Teammate space to work. If they're the closest to the play, even if they're in an awkward position, let them work with it and then react. Again, third man, make sure that we're behind the line. Kickoff, someone hold the center, and what brings it all together is recognizing time and space, so that whenever we do have those open shots and those open opportunities, we're doing what we've done before, where we round out our chance and we go for the best and simplest option. Playing the way we face, when we can, if we're clearing it in the back, all we need to do is look for each other, because if there's no much pressure on us, and we can get really easy shots from all the way back here. So that's what I got for now.